Do you send letters or postcards? When was the last time you received one? Do you like receiving them? I love getting postcards, but it doesn't happen very often these days. In today's lesson, we will be looking at a lovely news story I found on the BBC website about a business that will allow you to receive and send a postcard from somewhere you've never been. Hello and welcome back to another English lesson with Number One Institute. My name is Cara and I'm an English teacher, and I have a new video for you every Sunday. Today's lesson is a Number One news lesson. So that means we will be looking at a news article, which means we will be looking at your reading, of course, but also vocabulary, pronunciation, listening, and writing. I make one of these lessons every month. So if you like this way of learning English, check out the description box and the comments because I'll put a link to all my similar lessons. I also make a web page to go with each of these lessons. So this is a great place for you to check and practice the vocabulary, answer some extra questions, and it's all free. So if you want to improve your English, this is a really great place to go. So today's news article, which I found, is actually a few years old, but I think it's such a lovely story and a great idea, so I wanted to share it with you. It's about two guys in Mali who started this business so that you can send a postcard anywhere in the world from where they are from. So this is the plan for today. First, I will teach you some vocabulary, including the pronunciation. And all these words you will see in the news article. I will give you a couple of questions so that you can try to answer them and think about them while we read the news article together. And then we will read the news article together. I will tell you the answer to those two questions, and then you can go over to the web page, practice the vocabulary, and answer a few more challenging questions. Are you ready? Let's start with a few place names that you'll see in the article. Firstly, Mali in Africa. Then Timbuktu, which is in Mali, and also Bamako. Alright, now the vocabulary. The first word is sense. Just has one syllable and it's a noun. It's a feeling that something is true or something is the case. Tap into. This is a phrasal verb, which means to use something to get good results. It means to use something in a way that brings good results. Revival. This is a noun. It has 3 syllables and we stress the second syllable. Revival. This is used when something becomes popular or important again. Remote. This is an adjective. It has 2 syllables and we stress the second one. Remote. This is a place that is far from the main centers of population. Instability. This is a noun. It has 5 syllables. In-sta-bil-e-ty. And we stress the 3rd syllable. Instability. Instability. It means not being stable, so not safe or secure. Literary. 4 syllables, and we stress the first one. Literary. This is an adjective, and it's the study of literature, which means writing. Intellectual. This also has 5 syllables. Intellectual. And we stress the 3rd one. Intellectual. Intellectual. It's an adjective. It's to do with thinking or understanding complex or complicated ideas. Far away. This is an adjective that has 3 syllables. Sometimes we stress the first one, far away, and sometimes we stress the 3rd one, far away. And it just means a place that is a long way away. Recall is a verb. It has 2 syllables, and we stress the 2nd one, recall. It means to remember a fact, an event, or a situation. Rarely. This is an adverb, so 2 syllables. We stress the first one, rarely. And it means not often. Coincidentally. This has 6 syllables. Co-in-cident-ly. And we stress dent. Coincidentally. Coincidentally. It means in a way that results from chance and is very unlikely. Coincidentally. Come up with. This is a phrasal verb, and it means to produce something, such as an idea. Set up. Another phrasal verb, and that means to start something, such as a business. Type out. Another phrasal verb, and this means to write, to type something in full, so using a computer or a typewriter. Stamp. This is a noun, and it's one of these. Recipient. This is a noun, and it has 4 syllables. We stress the 2nd one. Recipient. Recipient. Ambassador. Ambassador. 4 syllables. Can you hear the stress? It's on the 2nd syllable. Ambassador. This is a noun, and it means a representative or a promoter of something, such as a place. Shipping. This is a noun, 2 syllables, and it's transporting goods or letters, or the cost of transporting the goods or letters. Okay, so now we are ready to read the article together. While we read, see if you can answer these 2 questions. What was the business idea they had? How much does it cost, and how much do they make? Sending a postcard from somewhere you've never been. We live in a world where billions of people will log on to social media and chat apps so they can communicate instantly with friends and family overseas. But perhaps we are at a point where people want to return to a more simple world, where physical letters give us a sense of reality. A business in Mali has been set up to help unemployed tour guides make money, be active, and tap into a letter writing community which is seeing a bit of a revival. Postcards from Timbuktu was set up by Phil Paoletta, and it does exactly what the name suggests. You can be anywhere in the world. Log on to your computer and send a postcard from one of the most remote places in the world. Mali doesn't get a huge amount of visitors. The UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office advises against all but essential travel to the country because of the instability it has seen in recent years. However, Mali has a strong literary culture, and its spiritual and intellectual capital, Timbuktu, has been an important desert trading post throughout history. To get a postcard stamped at its post office was to know people in a very faraway place. Phil was in Bamako, in Mali in January 2015, when he received a postcard from a friend in the US. It was the first time I had received a postcard in years, he recalls. You rarely get physical mail these days. Coincidentally, that same day, Phil ran into his friend Ali Niali, a former tour guide from Timbuktu, who was trying to find a job and having real difficulties. Unless you're working for the UN or an NGO, there are no jobs for you. The two came up with the idea of setting up the business. Word quickly spread, and the business now involves 10 people. You log onto the site, type out a personalized note, pay $10, and at some point in the future, a handwritten postcard with Timbuktu stamp pops through your or your chosen recipient's letterbox. Once you've paid, the words you write are sent via WhatsApp to a writer in Timbuktu. The note is then delivered by the postman on his bike to Timbuktu's post office, where it gets its all-important stamp. Then it's sent back to Mali's capital, Bamako, sometimes through a ride on a UN flight down to the city. This is essential, as it's only possible to send mail internationally from Bamako. We get all sorts of messages. One couple sent a card to the person they wanted to officiate at their wedding. We've had birthday messages, get well soon messages, aggressive notes, everything, says Phil. It's been really interesting for the former tour guides because they are used to interacting with people all over the world. And although there are fewer tourists now, they can still be ambassadors for Timbuktu through this. The team have sent hundreds of postcards with interest increasing. Phil says the current business model means the tour guides get about $6 after shipping, printing, the website costs, and taxes are set aside. So for a $10 postcard, they get a decent amount of money for what amounts to a few minutes' work. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the article. Could you answer the two questions? Their business idea was to allow people to send a postcard from Timbuktu to anywhere in the world. It costs $10 to send a postcard, and they make $6 off every postcard they send. Don't forget to practice the vocabulary and to answer a few more questions about this article, you can go over here where there is a free page for you to practice your English. Do you feel inspired to send a letter or postcard now? Maybe from Timbuktu or maybe from where you live. It's always fun to get one, isn't it? Hey, maybe you would like to send one to me. I would love to get one. I definitely live in a faraway, remote part of the world. This is my address if you'd like to send me a postcard. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you next Sunday for another English lesson. Don't forget to subscribe, to like this video, and always say hello in the comments below. If you liked this lesson, then you'll probably like my other number 1 news lessons, so I'm linking here to those playlists. You might also want to practice your grammar, so I'll put a link to my grammar playlist as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next Sunday for another lesson. Bye!